I welcome you all to yet another edition of The Inspired, a show where we talk about ICT legendaries, icons, people who have had an influence to the ICT world. I am Ashaba Hebo, your host, and today let us talk about Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Alva Edison was an American inventor and a businessman who has been described as America's greatest inventor. Born on February 11 in 1847 in Milan, United States of America, Edison was taught reading, writing, and arithmetic by the mother, who used to be a school teacher. He attended school for only a few months. However, one biographer described him as a very curious child who learned most of the things by reading on his own. As a child, he became fascinated with technology and spent most of his working hours on experiments at home. Edison developed hearing problems at the age of 12. Being completely deaf in one ear and barely hearing in the other ear, it is alleged that Edison would listen to a music player or piano by clamping his teeth into the woods so that he can absorb the sound waves into his skull. Thomas began his career with selling candy, newspapers, and vegetables on the streets. He developed very many devices in his field, such as electric power generation, mass communication sound recording, and also motion pictures. He was one of the first inventors to apply the principle of organized science and teamwork to the process of invention and working with many researchers and employees. Edison was raised in an American family, and in his early life, he worked in a telegraph company, which inspired some of his earliest inventions and made him establish his first laboratory facility in Menlo Park, that is in New Jersey. This is where most of his inventions were established. He later established a botanic laboratory in Fort, that is in Florida, in collaboration with very many different businessmen, for example, Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone. He also established a laboratory in West Orange, still in Florida, that featured the world's first film studio. The quadruplex telegraph was Edison's first big financial success, and Menlo became the first institution set up with the specific purpose of producing constant technological innovations and improvement. Edison was legally attributed with most of the inventions produced there, though many employees carried out research and development under his direction. His staff was generally told to carry out his directions in conducting research, and he drove them hard to produce results. Nearly all of Edison's patents were utility patents, which were protected for 17 years and included inventions or processes that were electronical, mechanical, or chemical in nature. In just over a decade, Edison's Menlo Park laboratory had expanded to occupy 2 city blocks. He had created the first industrial laboratory concerned with creating knowledge and then controlling its application. Thomas and their friend Charles Tainter produced a phonograph-like device that used wax-coated cardboard. Edison began work to improve the microphone for telephones. Edison was one of many inventors working on the problem of creating a usable microphone for telephony by having it modulate an electrical current passing through it. Edison used the carbon microphone concept to create an improved telephone for Western Union and found way to improve a Bell telephone microphone. Edison began working on a system of electrical illumination. He hoped he could complete with gas and oil-based lighting, which he completed with electric current. Mahan Theatre was the first building to use Edison's electric lamps. As Edison went on to expand his direct current, he received stiff competition from the companies installing alternating current. in the system. He then met Nikola Tesla and he brought up the law of the currents. Edison proved how DC was the best, but the advantages of using AC were immense, hence losing out in the market. Edison having lost out, he was influential to the electric world. Edison married Mary Stilwell and later divorced in 1884, then got married to Minna Miller. He fathered 6 children and he died in 1931 of complications of diabetes. Having ups and downs, Edison fought and managed to die a legend. This comes to teach us that whatever you go through, nothing lasts forever. Those are some of the aspects about Thomas Edison, an inventor, a businessman, a humanist, and also an eye of the electric world. I remain Ashamayeva Erina, and this is Be Inspired. Remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching.